How many times have you picked up your phone to check one message, and somehow, without meaning to, you fall into a vortex of scrolling, notifications, videos, and content? Suddenly 20 minutes are gone, then 30, then an hour, and when you finally put your phone down, there's a strange feeling inside you, like your mind has been pulled apart, scattered in 100 directions. Most people think this is just modern life. That distraction is part of living in a digital world. That the mind gets overwhelmed because the world is overwhelming. And in a certain way, that's true. But here's the part most people miss. This battle, this feeling of mental chaos, this inability to stay present with yourself. It's not new. The screens are new. The apps are new. But the struggle, it's ancient. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics wrote about the exact same enemy we face today, a distracted, undisciplined mind that wanders constantly, that avoids discomfort, that seeks novelty, that resists silence. A mind that cannot stay still. A mind that keeps running away from the moment. Epictetus warned his students about being scattered. Marcus Aurelius scolded himself for letting the mind jump from one thing to another. Seneca described people who wander without purpose, distracted by every new sensation. So today, I want to take you into a long, slow, deep reflection, a journey into the hidden war happening inside your mind every single day. The war for your attention, because attention is not just a mental skill, it is your life force, your freedom, your identity. What you pay attention to becomes who you are. And in a world designed to steal that attention, learning how to protect it is one of the most important skills you can develop. Let's begin at the core. Distraction. Distraction is anything that pulls you away from the present moment. It can be external notifications, no's, messages, interruptions. Or it can be internal, overthinking, worries, impulses, mental noise. Many people think distraction is something happening outside them, but the Stoics insisted that the real battlefield is within. External events trigger distraction, but the true cause is your relationship with your own mind. Think about it. Two people can sit in the same quiet room. One remains focused, calm, intentional. The other keeps checking their phone, pacing, fidgeting, losing track of their thoughts. The environment is identical. The difference is internal. As Epictetus said, it's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. The same applies to distraction. It's not the world that distracts us, it's our lack of training to remain with ourselves. So let's go deeper. Why do we get distracted? From a biological perspective, the mind is wired to seek novelty and avoid discomfort. In the ancient world, novelty could mean survival, new information about danger, opportunity, or social change. Our brains still operate under that ancient programming. So when you work on something difficult and your mind wanders, that's not a failure. That's an ancient instinct firing automatically. The problem is that today, novelty is infinite. Notifications, recommendations, messages, memes. Everything is designed to capture your ancient instinct for stimulation. And the Stoics understood this instinct long before screens existed. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to bring the mind back whenever it wandered. He knew the mind slips away naturally. He knew staying focused was an act of strength. He knew distraction is the default state of the untrained mind. But here's where Stoicism becomes powerful. Instead of fighting distraction with brute force, the Stoics approached it with awareness. They trained themselves to observe the mind, not obey it. They practiced watching their thoughts like clouds passing across the sky. They understood that discipline begins with noticing what the mind is doing without judging it. Try this right now. Imagine sitting in a quiet room. No noise, no phone, no stimulation. You sit in silence. At first, it feels simple, but within a few seconds, you start to feel restless. Your brain looks for escape. You think of checking something. You shift your posture. You remember something you forgot to do. You feel urges rising. This is the mind showing you its nature. That discomfort, that is the battlefield the Stoics faced every day. Epictetus used to train his students by asking them to sit in silence for long periods, simply observing their thoughts. He believed that mental freedom comes when you can say, "This thought is not me. This impulse does not control me. I can watch it without obeying it." That is prohairesis, the Stoic word for the inner faculty of choice, the ability to direct your attention intentionally. Distraction weakens this inner faculty. Every time you give in to a random impulse, you strengthen the habit of reactivity. You teach the mind that it can pull you away whenever it wants. You become a puppet pulled by invisible strings. But every time you resist the urge, every time you bring your mind back, you strengthen your inner authority. You reclaim your freedom. Let me take you into a small story. Seneca once wrote about a man who couldn't stay still, who constantly sought stimulation, crowds, noise, gossip, spectacle. He said this man feared being alone with himself, because silence would force him to confront his own thoughts. And Seneca added that a person who cannot sit quietly is a person who has lost themselves. That was 2,000 years ago. But that description sounds exactly like modern life, constantly jumping from one dopamine hit to another, unable to spend even a few minutes in silence. The Stoics believed that silence is sacred, not because silence is pleasant, but because silence reveals the truth. In the quiet, you meet your true self. You see your anxieties, your desires, your fears, your impulses. And most people run away from that encounter, because distraction is easier. Distraction is a shield. Distraction protects you from facing the uncomfortable parts of your own mind. So the question becomes, how do we reclaim our mind in a world designed to steal it? The Stoics gave us tools, profound, simple, and incredibly modern. The first tool is deep awareness. When the mind wanders, notice it immediately. Don't get angry. Don't judge yourself. Simply say, "My mind wandered," and then return. Every return is a victory. Every return strengthens presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "When you are pulled away, bring yourself back, again and again." He didn't expect perfection. He expected practice. The second tool is voluntary discomfort. Practice being bored. Practice sitting in silence. Practice doing nothing. Practice being without stimulation. The Stoics believed that self-mastery requires the ability to endure stillness. If you can't handle boredom for 5 minutes, how can you handle life's bigger challenges? If you can't sit with your own mind, how can you lead it? The third tool is radical focus on the present task. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what is necessary. Every action aligned with purpose. Do this as if it were your last act." He meant, when you work, work. When you read, read. When you speak, speak. One thing at a time. No divided attention, because divided attention is diluted action. and diluted action creates diluted results. The fourth tool is environment. The Stoics shaped their external world to support their internal focus. Remove the phone from your desk. Close the extra tabs. Put your devices far away. Create a workspace that invites concentration. Your environment is not neutral. It is either training your mind or training your distractions. And the Stoics were experts in creating environments of clarity. The fifth tool is reflection. At the end of the day, ask yourself, where did I lose attention? What triggered me? What distracted me? Did I act or did I react? Seneca wrote that every evening should be a conversation with the self, a moment to review actions, adjust behavior, and strengthen character. This reflection transforms distraction from an enemy into a teacher. Let me take you deeper. The Stoics didn't only think about distraction in terms of productivity. For them, distraction was a spiritual threat, because a distracted mind is a mind disconnected from its purpose. A distracted life is a life lived without direction. If you spend your days lost in noise, you cannot hear your inner values. You cannot follow your path. You cannot fulfill your potential. This is why the Stoics saw attention as a sacred resource. It was something to protect fiercely, something to guard against the chaos of the world, something to cultivate with discipline. To the Stoics, mastering attention wasn't a strategy, it was a form of virtue. Let me illustrate this with another story. Imagine a Roman soldier standing at the gates of the city. He watches the horizon for danger. He protects the people inside the walls. He remains alert, focused, disciplined. Now imagine your attention as that soldier. Your mind is the city. Your purpose, your values, your creativity, these live inside the walls. Distraction is the enemy approaching from the outside. If the guard is asleep, the enemy enters easily. But if the guard is awake, alert, disciplined, the city remains safe. Your attention guards your mind. And today, most people's guard is asleep. We live in an age of infinite stimulation. But infinite stimulation creates finite minds. Minds that lose depth. Minds that cannot think deeply. Minds that cannot reflect, create, or focus for long periods. And the Stoics believed that depth is what gives life meaning. Not speed, not noise, not intensity, depth. So how do we build depth? Through solitude, through long focused work, through reflection, through intentional action, through eliminating what is unnecessary. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to remove what does not matter. Distraction is almost always something that does not matter. Let's slow down now and reflect on something powerful. The mind you are living with right now is the mind you have trained. Every notification you gave in to trained it. Every distraction you obeyed trained it. Every moment you avoided discomfort trained it. Every moment you resisted temptation trained it. Your mind is not fixed. It is shaped every day by your choices. You are always training. The question is, what are you training for? Strength or weakness? Depth or superficiality? Mastery or reactivity? The Stoics believed that the highest form of freedom is mental freedom. The ability to choose your thoughts, to guide them, to use them, to shape them intentionally. Most people today do not have this freedom. They have preferences, impulses, urges, but not freedom. Their attention is scattered. Their thoughts are automatic. Their reactions are conditioned. And Stoicism exists precisely to break those chains. Let me take you one level deeper. Distraction is not just about losing focus. It is about losing life. Because your life is nothing more than the sum of where your attention goes. If your attention is consumed by noise, your life becomes noise. If your attention is consumed by trivial things, your life becomes trivial. If your attention is consumed by negativity, your life becomes negative. But if your attention is focused on purpose, your life becomes meaningful. If your attention is focused on growth, your life becomes growth. If your attention is focused on presence, your life becomes deeper, richer, calmer. Seneca said, "Life is long if you know how to use it." And using it begins with directing your attention. So let's imagine now a different version of your life. A life where you are in control of your mind. Imagine waking up and starting your day with clarity. Imagine sitting down to work and feeling a deep sense of immersion. Imagine being able to read for long periods without distraction. Imagine conversations where you are fully present. Imagine evenings without mental noise. Imagine a mind that feels like a calm lake instead of a storm. That version of you exists. It is not a fantasy. It is simply the result of consistent training. It begins with small steps, removing distractions, practicing silence, observing thoughts, returning to the present, strengthening PROH Aries is every day a little stronger, every day a little clearer, every day a little more intentional. This is the Stoic path, and it ends with something profound, a mind that belongs to you again. Distraction is the enemy. Focus is the weapon. Awareness is the shield. Discipline is the armor. Purpose is the guiding star. This is the battlefield. Your attention is the prize. And now, you have the ancient wisdom to fight back. If you want to continue this journey into Stoicism, self-mastery, and the inner life, join this community. This path is long, but you never have to walk it alone.